Rochdale 13 with Alan Kilshaw ahead of Sunday's game against All Golds. First though, have you had any more time to reflect on last week's defeat against York?
Yeah, we did a detailed review, and what we said on the day, we contributed to beating ourselves. It's nothing against York because they played well and came here and executed their game plan and didn't make many mistakes in the second half. But yeah, we contributed to our own downfall, and a lot of senior players there were poor, and there's no excuse for that. Like we said, it wasn't a high priority for us, but we're disappointed in the manner of the defeat, and we'll expect a reaction this week in our performance.
Yeah, it was a poor second half, and that went from bad to worse. Chris Riley got a red card towards the end of the game for, I believe it was dissent. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Chris put his hands up straight away after the game, and was disappointed in how he reacted. We did feel that York did some things that weren't in the spirit of the game, and we would like to see our players being better protected. We don't want to be a team that has to take the law into our own hands, so to speak. The ruck was very slow, which didn't suit us. There wasn't one penalty for ruck infringements throughout the game, so we're just looking for some consistency. We'll go through the right channels. We'll speak to the refs coach and make sure we know where the line is. We did feel, especially in the Chris situation, his hand was stamped on. There was a couple of incidents like that during the game, and we just feel that that's not in the right spirit of the game. We like to play hard, but acts like that, there's no place for it. So we were disappointed with that, but Chris needs to react better than that, and again go through the right channels and approach the ref in a different manner. So he'll sit out the witness game, which will be frustrating for him. But the RFL did take into account the lead-up incident in grading that, and like I say, he'll miss one game against Widnes, and he'll be back for the Toulouse game.
And somebody else you'll be without at weekend is Samir. He's been massive in the opening few rounds. He's banned for an incident in the North Wales game. How much will you miss him?
Yeah, he'll be a big miss. He's a big out for us. He's been a real good player. He's played some big minutes. He's been standout in all the early games. I think if you look at the try of the month, I think he was involved in most of them. So it's disappointing not to have him. And again, just on that process with him getting banned, Crusaders didn't cite him. It was the RFL, and as long as it's consistent, we'll be happy with that. So we'll be keeping a keen eye that there will be some consistency around there, because the referee on the day was pretty happy just to give a penalty, and he didn't place it on the ball. As long as the RFL are consistent with that process, then we'll be happy.
And onto this week, you face a much improved All Golds side. They've shocked a few sides so far. How tough of a task do you think it'll be when they come up to Scotland? Yeah, they're a good side. We're not taking them lightly. A lot of focus is on us this week and how we play and prepare. Especially off the back of a loss, you've got to respond well to that. And we've said all year we won't get too high when we win, and we won't get too low when we lose. So we'll be looking for reaction. In terms of All Golds, they're a really good attacking team. They can do some damage. Lee Greenwood's done a good job with them there the last couple of seasons, and they're improving. And look, they're a threat. They're a threat. They're a good side. They had a tough period. I think they had three games in 10 or 11 days, which included travelling to Toulouse, and I think off the back of that they were probably a bit gassed when they played Coventry, but the week off did them some good, or the week leading into Newcastle, and they've come up and they're in the semi-final, so they'll be buoyant, and they'll be looking for another scalp. They've been called probably the best of the southern sides in the competition. Do you think that gap that's been there in the last few years is starting to close, or what's your opinion on that? Yeah, some of the teams has probably been a little bit inconsistent, where London Scholars for a couple of years are really good, and then they fell off, and now they're improving again. And the All Golds, they look to have done it right. They're getting things
off the field right, with the structures and the things in place, facilities, resources, and not throwing a load of money at players. And I think that's for long-term stability and to close the gap. That's the way to go. So it's good to see these teams doing well and pushing the if you like, more traditional sides.
And it's been a tough couple of weeks with injuries. We've patched up where we can and stretched the resources we have. Are there any players that will be returning this weekend?
Yeah, we've got a few. Mike Ratu will be fit, which is really good. For the group, he's been outstanding in pre-season with his rehab and his attitude. And with Mike, we're not just getting a run-of-the-mill player coming back here, we're getting one of the best centres in the competition, if not outside of Super League. So we won't expect too much from him too early. But his enthusiasm will rub off, and his professionalism and just, you know, his talent, I'm sure will boost the lads. Dale Bloomfield will be fit this week, which is another boost. You know, top try scorer last season, and he gets us on the front foot with his kick returns, and he's one of the best finishers. And James Tilley, who he wasn't as bad as first feared. We thought 4 weeks. He's recovered quick from that shoulder damage. So 3 real big ins for you. And you know, if you look across the board this week, if you're going off squad numbers, then you know there's a lot lower numbers. We're getting closer to 1 to 17, if you like, which just, you know, shows you that we're not far away. Lewis Galbraith will be another couple of weeks. So once Lewis is back in, then we'll have 2 specialist centres. We've not had that, and we're lacking a bit of consistency, you know, on those edges with players and partnerships forming. You know, you'd like to think Mike Ratu and Chris Riley will form a formidable partnership, and Lewis on the other side when he comes back with either Dale or Corey. So we're looking forward to getting, you know, all our troops on deck.
And still unbeaten in the league, of course. Following the defeat last week, how determined are the lads to keep the run going now? Yeah,
more so than ever. We want to play well. We want to play well at home. Some senior players need to step up this week. They were very disappointing last week, and we've not fudged around that. In the week, we were honest on Tuesday with our review, and we were way off what standards that are expected, you know, of each other and this club. You know, when you put that jersey on, you need to perform at a high level, and we're not going to, you know, throw all the toys out the pram because we've had a good start, and it was a dip. But we've trained well this week, and we'll look to put in a good performance on the weekend.